Hello everyone, good morning, welcome to Carrow Road on this lovely summer's Saturday. I think I can still say summer, just about. Just in time for the coaches to depart here at Carrow Road. Of course, Norwich City heading to Sheffield United for the latest Disrespect derby with Chris Wilder and co. We all remember how last year went, of course. We've got Paddy Davitt here, we'll have a quick chat with him. Dave Freezer is doing the Sterling camera work, there you go. He's waving then, just like he does in my Instagram stories all the time. Obviously, normally we get a chat with the guys on the coaches, but sadly it took us a little bit of time to get going. So we'll see them off in style. Let's see if we can get any of them waving, Dave. We might have to coax them in. Wave, guys, the camera. There's Connor. There's Connor Southwell. He always likes a wave, that one. So obviously it'd be interesting to know how these guys are feeling about the trip, but we can't because they're on the bus. But what we'll all be hoping for is a relatively smooth trip with none of the dramas that happened away from the football last time. So I think that's a message for anyone going to the game at Bramall Lane. Behave. You know, yes, you can be shouty at each other and have a laugh, but don't throw bottles, don't throw punches, none of that stuff. So anyway, these guys are all going away. As I said, there's 5 coaches. There's the assistant coach as well. They'll all be travelling in convoy. Due to leave at 1:30, so they're a minute late, but we won't tell them. Won't hold that to them against them too much. Paddy, do you want to come in rather than save me all the continued rambling? No one really wants to hear from me incessantly. No, good morning.
Good morning. Morning all.
Lovely day.
Yeah, lovely day. Let's see what's in store in about 9 hours time. But yeah, certainly good turnout here, and given some unsavoury events last season, you know, fair play to them. Let's hope we don't get a repeat of any of that.
Yeah, quite exactly. Get your messages in on the Facebook feed. They'll hopefully come through to my iPad as one of the coaches sets off in fine style. I'm going to turn this mic down. Am I going to? No, we'll have to leave the mic. It's a bit loud with the wind. There we go. Some thumbs up. Always a lovely moment in the weekend. The moment the away coaches leave Carrow Road. And of course our aim then for the rest of the morning is to try and overtake them, isn't it, Paddy, basically?
That's the plan.
Safely, obviously,
yeah.
So get your messages in. Robert Fountain, we get a thumbs up from him. Maz Howard gets a wave. Daryl Butcher goes for the thumbs up. Steve Balls for the wave, which is always good. Let us know your predictions too. Dave's doing a weird gesture. If only you could see what he was just doing then, but it was very exciting. Pad, the game today, obviously we had a chat about it in the Facebook Live last night. It's nicely teed up, isn't it? Should be a feisty one.
Yeah, I think we can guarantee that. Said it yesterday, repeating myself, but it's not the Sheffield United who were flying when Norwich went there last season, and Norwich did an excellent number on them. You know, for me, that given everything was going on around the game and the intimidatory factor, I thought that was probably right up there with as good a performance Norwich put on last season. So high bar, but there's enough of the lads who were on duty last season still involved. So Daniel himself said it, you get a result at Sheffield United, you don't need to be scared of going anywhere in the Championship. So he clearly sees this as a bit of an acid test in terms of what you're going to face in the Championship. And if Norwich at the comeback, those fans return on those coaches with a positive result, then yeah, it sets them up fair then for plenty more difficult tests in the weeks ahead. But one thing without even knowing any of the lineups or what Sheffield United have done prior to this point, that they will be bang up for it because of all the events of last season. They're still banging on about it. I've seen Wilder quotes, I've seen one or two of the players, and there's plenty on social media, Norwich Blades fans who are quite looking forward to putting one over on Norwich. So as long as Farke's drilled that into his players and they know what's coming, then you'd like to think. I look at Hanley, I look at Closer to a degree, Ben Marshall, these sort of players, they should know what it's all about, and you like to think they'll stand up to anything that's thrown at them as the final coach departs.
It is. We've got some waves, some come on cities, and a double thumbs up from one of the kids at the front. Great stuff, great to see. We went for the lime kit number. I don't know what kits they're playing in today. Hopefully it'll be yellow and green. But anyway, James Palmer, pertinent point. Bloody hell, don't say they're late already. Don't tell Wilder, because of course the coaches have left. That coach is 5 minutes late, but unfortunately he hasn't got the players in, so I don't think he'll be so fussed about the fans.
We can confirm really. The players did go up yesterday, so...
I didn't stop them being late last year, did it?
That is a good point, yeah. That is a good point.
Now you mentioned lineups, Pad, which is always good. I know you like this. I've done my own little 11.
Yeah.
I've gone rogue. Okay. I want you to pick the holes in it, but here you go. Look, it's if you can see that just about. It's basically a 3-4-3. I haven't seen yours in the paper, I must confess.
Yeah.
We've got Godfrey in the middle of Closer and Hanley. I've gone Stiepermann left wing back, Tetty Tribal holding, and then Pookie, Hernandez and Rhodes. So no Leitner.
No Marshall.
No Marshall's there, on right wing back. So maybe not too controversial, but I think I've just made the homegrown rules as well in that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? You always have to put whatever team you want to put out on the pitch. You then have to run it through the homegrown filter, don't you? But I don't think mine's too dissimilar. I did go with a 4-2-3-1 in terms of the formation, but it's a bit of a movable feast. I wouldn't be adverse to seeing that, because I don't think Leitner, what he does give you, I think this is the type of game where you're probably going to need one or two more earthier midfielder tributes, certainly in the early stages. And if we had Leitner and Pookie, who were the central two against West Brom, that wouldn't fill me with a lot of optimism, because I think they'll get overrun in the midfield area. So whether it's Tribal, whether it's Tete, whether even you threw Godfrey back into that mix, given the success he had at Shrewsbury last season. No, he's not played really too much in that role so far through pre-season, but I think that's the game for me today. If they can get the upper hand in those central areas, then they've got enough creativity going forward, and that's where you could maybe introduce a liner in the second half. But it will be interesting. I mean, Sheffield United have been going with a 3 all season, so if he wanted to go like for like, then I could see that. But he made the point yesterday, Darren Moore was a little bit surprised, the West Brom coach, that he hadn't gone with a 3, because he was a firm advocate of it last season, but this season so far it's been the 4, so that's why I think he won't veer too far from that today.
I've put a 4-2-3-1 as a predicted lineup in the live coverage, PinkUn.com/live ahead of the team news. So that's probably exactly what you've done there. So I know, hedging my bets. We know what Daniel will pick. Brilliant stuff. Just to mention, we saw sort of Norwich's result at Birmingham. Did you see the game? Any of the game last night? Norwich, Birmingham, and Swansea.
No, all I know is the score. Yeah,
it was a goalless one, but Birmingham were unlucky not to win it. Which I guess at this point we'll take that as a little bit of credit, that if Birmingham are doing okay, then that's
not a bad benchmark. Yeah, and fans won't want to hear it if they come back from today getting no points and being put away with far too much ease. But it is fine margins at the minute, and but for, as Daniel said himself yesterday, 1 or 2 key moments that they didn't really cover themselves in glory against West Brom. I'm thinking Krul's powder puff attempt at a save and Rhodes' powder puff attempt at a penalty. Then it's I'm pretty confident they would have gone on and won that game, because they were so much in the ascendant before half time against West Brom, and to get another goal ahead, I think that might have been the game. And then we're going into the midweek. They win the League Cup tie, and everything's positive and everything's rosy. So fine margins, but for me that should be turned as a positive, because 90 minutes later this afternoon they've done the business and everything's upbeat again, isn't it?
Yeah, spot on, Pad, top man. Can I get a prediction out of you? You don't have to do one in the paper, is that right?
No, not anymore. No.
Was that your request to ditch that?
No, not at all. No. To be honest, why do people want to keep hearing about the wrong result every week? So, although I did, as Dave rightly pointed out, got it right in midweek. I do fear today, I have to be brutally honest, I'm being a bit glass half empty, but I think it might be a 2-0 defeat today. But if that is the case, then I win, and if it isn't the case, then I win. So it's a win-win.
That's exactly the way. Top man, Pad, I'll let you go around, because we're obviously chasing down the coaches, and maybe you and Dave can swap over cameras. I'll just read you some of the messages here. What have we got? They've gone past. I think Matt Lewandon commented on my sharp trim. I haven't had a haircut, Matt, but I do need one. You're right. Andy Dan, safe. AD Dan. Sorry, AD. Safe day to all the travelling City supporters. Joe Watson, I wonder if the Sheffield team is watching this. I'm sure they've got better things to do, maybe like preparing, but you never know. This could be part of their preparations. They seem to be taking a lot of stock in things that don't really matter. Carl Layton's thumbs up. I imagine Carl's probably on the bus somewhere. And Mark Jones, hope the new boys are ready for it, which is quite the point. I had a little look at the team that Norwich played at Bramall Lane last season, and I think there's maybe 3 or 4. Tetian, Tribal, Tim Closer. But other than that, it might well be quite a different look this afternoon. So all interesting. Harvey Monk, 1-0 to City. Let's hope that's both a prediction and a premonition. Rory Power, best of luck today, and lots of Irish flags. Good stuff, Rory. Dave, do you want to come in front of the camera? Or get Paddy to practice his camera work. I know he enjoys it. He's smiling. There you go, Dave. This is a year of top class production work.
Yes.
Dave, did you see the game last night?
I didn't, but Swansea had 0 shots on target. I believe.
Is that right? Did they?
Yeah. Whereas Birmingham had about 20 shots, didn't they?
Yeah, so had the chances.
Yeah. I mean, Birmingham didn't look that bad on the opening day either, did they? So maybe there's life in them yet.
Maybe there is life in them. Let's have a quick look at that. And these are the rest of the Championship fixture. Oh no, that's the wrong slide. Oh well, don't worry about that. Quick, get onto the camera. Never mind. Best laid plans and all that. There we are. We're back. But yeah, I can't really remember what the rest of the fixtures are, so that helps. But
bring up on my phone
while
we'll
do that. I think Ipswich are hosting Aston Villa, which is a good one. I was going to show you the tables as well, but I'm guessing that they're not right. For some reason the tables are right. So there you go. That's the top of the table as it stands. Okay. Swansea are. I mean, let's be honest. We're still before the point that Teletext would publish these. But
I haven't even looked at the table. I just don't even know where Norwich are.
Norwich
in
aren't in the top. They're not in the relegation zone, but they're also not in the top half. So Middlesbrough and Swansea have both played 3 and got 7 points from those. As I said, Villa, I believe, are at Ipswich this afternoon, which will be an interesting game. Sheffield United, they've also played 3 games already, and they're just there at the bottom of the top half. But they have a -3 goal difference. Theirs and I think Rotherham's are the 2 worst goal differences in the division so far.
Rotherham got spanked, didn't they, by Brentford?
And if we have a quick look at the bottom half, as you can see, Norwich there 18th. Birmingham did actually go above them last night because they played a game more. Still very early days. Only 2 teams, QPR and Reading, that haven't picked up a point as yet. Although I have to say, between those 2 teams, they may well have a season of struggle.
Okay, well, fixtures wise, it's Bristol City v Borough, Hull v Blackburn, Ipswich are at home to Villa, Leeds host Rotherham. I'd fear for Rotherham a little bit, given Leeds are in the current form. Whether that'll be Sean Raggett's league debut, I don't know, because he did play in midweek. They beat Wigan 3-1, and he was involved in one of the goals as well. So I guess he'll hope to get in. Millwall v Derby, Reading v Bolton. That's possibly a relegation 6-pointer even at this part of the season. Well, as long as Paul Clement's in charge of Reading anyway. West Brom v QPR, Wigan v Nottingham Forest, and then the late kick-off today is Preston v Stoke.
Which of course is a look at Preston before they come here. Exactly, on Wednesday.
It's a 2-hour advantage for Norwich.
Yeah. Let's hope they make the most of it. Have a quick trip back. Some interesting fixtures there. What do you reckon today? Because it was quite a caustic kind of event down at Bramall Lane, wasn't it, last season?
It was, yeah. I reminded myself of last year's game. I watched the highlights this morning just to refresh myself. And Stevenman played left back last year, so and he played quite well from memory, and just from looking at the highlights, he was quite heavily involved. So it's all about that left back position for me today. I talked a bit about it in my column in the PinkUn today, and I think, me personally, I'd go with Jamal. He isn't carrying an injury like Marco Stevenman is, who's got a knee problem, so it's just down to fitness with Jamal and being sharp. And if you go back to his debut at Birmingham, when he was sort of chucked in after a knee injury, he sort of ran on adrenaline that day, so we almost need that kind of performance from him in today. But if I was Daniel, maybe I'd say just give me an hour, or as best you can. As soon as you're running on empty, let me know, and Marco will just have to cope with the final 30. I've seen some people talk about Max Aarons. I really can't see Max being chucked in at Bramall Lane. I think that would be a real big gamble on a guy who, frankly, wasn't brilliant against Stevenage on the other night. As far as I'm concerned, he just survived it because it's not his position. He's a right back, so I think that would be particularly harsh on Max.
Yeah, positionally, I think to be put in out position like that. And in terms of the United side Norwich are going to come up against, I mean, they had a real striker crisis last year, which I think probably helped Norwich out, if truth be told. John Fleck, though, in midfield, I think that Sheffield United fans are big fans of what he can do, and Duffy as well, and they're likely to have Billy Sharp and Leon Clark up top, and Billy Sharp is 2 from 2, I think. Yeah,
Billy Sharp, if you give him a chance, he's more than likely to put it away. That for that front line, I would go with the 3 at the back today. The lineup that I've predicted in my column is a 3-4-3, because then I think if you do play Lewis on as a left wing back, you've also got Tim Closer protection just behind him, but also because of that strike force. Because otherwise, if you go through their team, they're not anything particularly special, but they're a tight unit. Chris Wilder's got them drilled. They're not that direct. I mean, they are direct. They get the ball back to front quite quickly, but they're not, a Neil Warnock long ball side. They've got a bit more nous to them than that. So I think we could be in for a decent game, but I'd probably go 1-1, and I'd take that as we stand here today, because if you can draw this one and then hopefully get a win against Preston on Wednesday, then the season is up and running.
It is indeed, Dave. Thank you very much. I would take that too as well. Let's get through the last of your messages, shall we? Tom Parling, come on City, bring it home. The football's coming home, etc., etc. We'll do that again. Ian Gabelli, Pookie last-minute winner. And that weird sign, Dave might know what this is because he's a bit younger than me, this weird sign that's like a phone. I don't know what that is, but that's obviously a good thing.
That's what the French guy does, isn't it? Griezmann, when he scores, he does that.
You mean Griezmann?
It's probably from...
You mean Griezmann?
It's probably from, what's that game they all play?
I don't. Fortnite, yeah, that's probably exactly what it's about. Anthony Balls, let's hope luck's on our side today and no silly mistakes, quite, because that's cost them in the last couple of games, of course. Canary Mary Watson, do appreciate you guys are. Just a thought, I'd put Christo in and push Ben into the middle with a German. So I guess that's Ben Godfrey and Tom Treibel in the middle with Christoph Zimmermann in a back three. Like it. Let's see what Daniel goes with. Team news at 2 p.m. live on this very Facebook page, actually, on PinkUn.com. Anthony Balls, let's hope our luck's on our side today. Don't feel we've had that in the last 2 league games, which I think is certainly something that Daniel Farker mentioned at Colney yesterday. Harvey Monk, 3 points here would be decent, to be honest. We deserve something, hopefully. Spencer Burton, 3-2 to Norwich. Big thumbs up. Obviously, we'd all take that. Steve Jones, who's driving? Great question. We'll all take it in turns because this is a democracy, but probably Dave first. Simon Parker says Zimmerman at left back. I've seen that mentioned. Can't see that at all. Paul Jones, we need a win. John Wilson, Godfrey's time to shine. And Paul Jones does want Zimmerman and Godfrey in. Thank you so much for all your messages. We appreciate it. If you're on the coaches as you watch this, have a safe trip. Hopefully we'll have a safe trip too, and we'll see you at Bramall Lane. And if you want to follow the game, of course, however you want to do it, the best way is to make sure one of your devices is switched to pinkun.com/live, and we'll bring you full independent coverage of this afternoon's game at Bramall Lane. Until then, fingers crossed and enjoy yourselves. Goodbye.